Welcome to the podcast, Kill Complacency. Here we inspire intentional living by motivating others to handle hard better. And here's your host, Marty Hofmann.
This is the second part of the podcast with Bennett Schwartz, and really enjoyed this half. He gave me some good book authors to be following, but also really helped me think about imposter syndrome. I probably struggle with that more than I think, and it's a handicap and crippling to me. So good to be thinking about that. Obviously, I love the final message the podcast guest always has, and very thought-provoking. Because what was takeaway from yours on this?
I really loved hearing about when he's coached people and how he just really gets them to say what their bigger goal is, because sometimes we'll say a smaller goal, but really we'll be hiding behind like this bigger goal that we're just too afraid to say. And I just thought that was really powerful, of just stating it and then working towards it, whether you think you can get it or not.
Yeah, good stuff. Hope you guys enjoy this. Please share it with your friend if it's beneficial. Please tell us how we can make these better and how we can improve your life. Do you ever have people where you say, hey, your goals are, where you got to drop some goals? Maybe they got too many goals or heading in the wrong direction, or...
Yeah, sure. So two things come to mind. Number one is sometimes people are too all over the place and they want to be doing everything. And on the one hand, it's just not possible, right? Or not possible right now, right? I think that's a better way to say it. And it's like we can focus on those, but it's just going to take away from other areas. And what we have to realize is that there's a time and place for everything. So if we can start to focus on our goals and just pick 1, 2, maybe 3, if it's like an easy one that we can start to do, and to help us really just focus on the work that we're trying to do, that could be something that could really start to see the success. Because once you start to see the success, all of a sudden you start to get in a routine, and you're like, you start validating all the work that you're doing, and that could be something that could be really helpful. On the other hand, I one time had a client who came over to me, and one of the questions people ask me is like, well, can I do something massive? Let's say I have a massive goal. Can I be doing like something too big? So that I had this one guy come over to me and he was like, I want to own $15 million in real estate in the next year. I'm like, okay, how much do you own? He's like, I own 4 units. I'm like, do you have like a rich father or something who's going to help you buy these properties? Like, no. I'm like, do you have any way of getting the money? He's like, no. I'm like, okay. And for a normal person, they'll be like, you're crazy. I, as a coach who was trying to pull out the best in him, I go over to him and I ask him, is it only $15 million? Right? And I started challenging him on that. And I asked him, is it only 15? And he goes back to me, he's like, no, really, it's 25. But I'm too scared to say, I'm too scared to say that. Really? So I said 15. And I was like, dude, once you're saying 0 to 15, there's no difference from 0 to 15, 0 to 25. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yeah, I hear that a little bit. I'm like, let's just shoot for 25 and we'll see what happens. Like, let's set ourselves up. We'll reverse engineer what it is we have to do. And within 7 weeks, he had a property that was $17 million under contract. And it was like the biggest aha moment for him. He's like, oh my gosh, because if I was only going for 15, I would not have even looked at this property. It was like over my budget. And I'm like, dude, this is why we got to set our goals. And like, that's something that could be so powerful. So on the one hand, a recent question I was asking, like, let's say there's some physical things, like I'm in my mid 30s. I'm not making the NBA now. You know what I'm saying? But if I have a goal to make the NBA, am I being like irrational? Maybe there's some people out there will be like, go for it. But I think, okay, at a certain time, you have to like hang up the cleats or, come to the realization of like what's possible. But I think for most, goals that somebody can achieve or people have achieved, there's no limit to it. And it's really just setting yourself up in the right place and taking the right actions.
Yeah. Have you read Benjamin Hardy's book, Why 10X is Easier Than 2X?
Yeah, sure.
That real estate analogy reminded me so much of that.
Yeah, for sure.
It was easy for him to do a big goal there than it would have been to do a $2 million goal over the 100%. Next year.
And people don't realize that. And it's something that the more we can start to play with and some more we can start to see. And really, I think the first part is like believing in it. Like I really believe that could happen. Then you allow yourself and you open yourself up to different opportunities that maybe you never opened up to before.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. Um, the what other kind of hurdles do you walk people through? I mean, you got
Sure.
to determine their why, reverse engineer, set some goals.
Yeah. So a lot of
What are
it
what
is
are the other roadblocks that you have to help people get over?
sure. So I think one of the big ones is fear of failure and imposter syndrome.
Mm,
And I think now in the personal development world, those are very popular that people speak about, people like acknowledge, but it's still scary. It's so scary, you know. And I'll just explain, like, in case somebody doesn't know, imposter syndrome is the feeling you get when you step into a room and you're like, wait a second, I don't belong in this room. I see all these high level people, and I'm like just
yeah.
a Joe Schmo who steps into here. And what people have to realize is that imposter syndrome, and I got this from a coach named Jason Drees. Jason Drees is Brandon Turner's coach. If anybody's a real estate guy and follow Bigger
Okay.
Pockets, Brandon Turner's coach is Jason Drees. So Jason Drees speaks about this idea how imposter syndrome is not a bad thing. It's actually a really beautiful thing if you think about it, because what happens is that we as humans want to develop and we want to continue to grow. And when we're working out, we have the ability to go to a gym and to push our muscles and to feel the pain and be sore afterwards. And like, okay, like we know it's uncomfortable, but we're going to get a result. When we're working like on our mindset, like how do you work it out? And that imposter syndrome is your mind, is your brain stretching itself. It's expanding. And we can understand like, hey, I don't belong in this room, but right now I'm expanding myself to being present into this room. I could still be nervous. I could still be like scared to like say hi to anybody or to speak up or whatnot. But that feeling itself is the growth. And it's the same feeling you're going to get. But the question is, are you going to look at it as like, I don't belong here and like step out of the room? Or are you going to be like, this is very uncomfortable. Let me be with the moment right now and say, hey, I'm becoming somebody. Because I guarantee you the second time you do it or the 10th time you do it, you're not going to feel as you did the first time. And that is something that a lot of people, I think, are because they have the wrong explanation of what imposter syndrome really is or that feeling really is. They say, I'm not ready. I'm not confident yet. But confidence comes only after doing the thing a million times. It's like you have to be courageous first. And that's how you build your confidence. Confidence is a result of the courage. And because of that, then you have the ability to really step into, the role or the position or, asking the girl out or whatever it is that you're trying to do to allow yourself to become the person that you want. So I think imposter syndrome is one of those feelings, as well as fear of failure. Fear of failure is just an emotion and it's a feeling. And we have to realize that all feelings are I believe are neutral. All emotions are neutral and we define them. And, on the one hand, you could say, oh, I'm so scared I'm going to fail. But then you're only looking at the negative side of it. And if you look at the other side of it, it's like, oh my gosh, I could really succeed at this. Not to take away, like Jim Rohn's, one of his great lines that I love quoting is that, you have to look at the glass being half full, but you can't deny that it's also half empty.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when we do things, we look at somebody who's like a positive person, but they're just like in denial of like all the negativity that's around. And it's like, oh, you can't do that. You have to acknowledge it. So it's like, yeah, I have this ability to make a lot of money. I have the possibility of losing a lot of money also, but I'm also going to step into the side where I can make a lot of money and, try to my best and do whatever it is in my power to be able to step into it. And once we could do that, that's a big shift that I think a lot of people don't necessarily have.
Bennett, how is imposter syndrome and fear of failure different? I ask because I feel like I probably have imposter syndrome.
Sure.
I'm not afraid to fail, but there's a distinction there, right?
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
I don't want to fail, but I'm not like I kind of celebrate failures.
Yeah,
sometimes.
sure. So I think imposter syndrome is like when you're in the moment, and it feels uncomfortable. There's like a real discomfort there. Fear of failure. You might not even be in the room yet. It's like, I don't even deserve to be in the room, so I'm not going to go. Well, it's like, why are you like shooting yourself in the foot? Like, you shouldn't have to do that, So I'd say that's like one of the big differences between the two. And they both manifest in different ways, so it really depends on the person and the situation, how it can manifest.
Yeah. No, that's good. Who would be your go-to author on imposter syndrome?
I'm a big Brendon Bouchard fan.
Okay.
Big fan of his. And then I mean, Jason Drees, like I said before, I quoted him before, so I really liked his stuff also.
Okay. I'll look those guys up.
Yeah.
I know Brendan Burchard. I think your book on the back bookshelf. I think I recognize that one.
Yeah.
I can just see him popping up in the corner.
There you go.
That's cool. Talk to me about the 3 C's.
The 3 C's. Yeah. So it's one of my the reason why Marty's talking about it, for anyone who's listening, I have 3 C's to help you move forward in terms of, what is it you're looking to do in life. And, some of it's confidence, it's courage. Actually forgot the last C, as embarrassing that might sound, but the basic idea
Confidence,
is that,
courage.
and
Yeah.
what we really need to try to do is we really need to try to step into the discomfort. And going back to the confidence piece, because if we could step into our own confidence, that could be something that could really help us move forward and really take advantage of what it is that we're looking to step into. So if we and clarity, that was the last one. So if we could get those, confidence, the courage to step into it, and get the clarity, that could be something that could really help unlock what it is that we're looking to do. So I think it's real powerful, and it's just a little framework that I put together for people who are interested in, like, hey, what are the first steps. It could be definitely a great place to start in terms of, like, hey, this is like some really cool stuff that I could start to do.
Yeah, that's so good. I recently ran a marathon, and I knew I wanted to get better and faster.
Nice.
And I knew there was a guy in town that would kick my butt. And so, but I went to him and I said, hey, I want to do long runs with you on the weekend. And, I was out of my league. But I could run with him for 12 or 15 miles, and then I would just be shot. But it had to do with what you were saying, the 3 C's of, I can't remember but I had a clear goal. Was it courageous?
Courage to ask him to be part of him.
Yeah.
And confidence to even do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times you might have the courage to not do it. So that's really impressive.
But I was thinking of that as you were talking about that, like, because I knew I was out of my comfort. I knew I would fail. I should say that. I knew I would fail, but I knew that I wanted his help more.
Right. So I wouldn't even look at that as a failure, because you're saying failure as opposed to keeping up to him. But, like, if he's been running for 30 years, like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it's a failure, And it's interesting because one of the cool ways, and this is a cool reframe that anybody listening could use, when it comes to failure, you just have to reframe what's really going on. So, for example, there's I had this business idea, and there was this guy I would randomly bump into. So scared to talk to him because he's literally a billionaire. Okay, like a billionaire guy, and I, like, always wanted to ask him, like, about my idea. I didn't want to ask him directly. I was trying to figure out, like, what to do, and I got like, every time I was, like, saw him, I got cold feet, and I, like, just didn't do it. And I started to reframe the fear of failure, because I was scared. I was going to ask him, he's going to say no, and I was like, the win right now is just asking him. I don't care what he says. Right.
Yeah.
And I reframed it differently. So the next time I saw him, I'm like, the only way I fail right now is if I don't ask him. So I went over to him and I asked him like a backwards way. I'm like, hey, do you have any friends who are interested in that, just to, like, get it into, like, into his head. But and he's like, no. And, like, that was the end of the conversation. But regardless, I'm like, for me, the win wasn't getting him to say yes. It was just to go over and to ask him. And I think we could reframe that even for you. It's like going over to him to ask him, hey, can I run with you? Like, that's the win. You know? And it's like, you could call it technically, hey, I didn't succeed as much as he did, but it's like, I also haven't been training as much as him. And guess what? The success that you had, like, where you probably got to from that, you know what I'm saying, is probably so much further along. And you probably jumped a few steps by training with somebody like that. So, it's that's really cool.
When I wasn't afraid of him saying no, maybe I should have been, but I wasn't, because most runners are happy to share their long run with you. But yeah, I would feel like I failed every week when I would just die. I would go as long, as hard as I could, and
for sure.
he would run the last couple on his own. But yeah, and I would always be, I'm so sorry, and he'd be like, it's fine, dude. Like, I don't know what same thing you're saying. Like, it doesn't matter. But I was hard on myself.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so good. Bennett, what would be your favorite book of all time or most influential book? We've talked about a few on here today,
Yeah,
but
sure. So I have two. I would say regarding, I don't know which category or
anything,
direction. So
anything.
um, I would say Robert Kiyosaki's books were just a big shift for me in terms of just finance and
Hmm.
entrepreneurial world and whatnot. So those were like a big shift. Just changed everything.
How old were you, Bennett, when you read
I
Rich
was
Dad Poor
older,
Dad?
late 20s. You know, I wish I read it earlier, but
Yeah,
back then I wasn't a reader, so I didn't like care to read that stuff.
I feel like a lot of people, especially on this, talk about that book, and I feel like of all things, that book is more of a mindset book than a
Yeah, for sure.
real. People say it's real estate. It's not real estate. I mean,
No,
it is because that's his thing, but it's such mindset, isn't it?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it shifted everything for me. Like, oh, that's how it works, and that's how you can start to do things differently, and that's how you can see the world, or and whatnot. Yeah, for sure. I would agree with you 100%. Definitely a shift in that. And then the high performance habits, which we were talking about before, Brendan
Yeah.
Bouchard, in terms of the mindset. I think that's a great book. It's a big book, and I think I went through it 3 times. So really good stuff over
That's
there too.
that should be a yearly read, huh? High
Yeah, for
Performance
sure.
Habits.
Yeah, if anybody's looking for a coach, you read that book, and he has great coaching questions in there. And as long as you follow like the exercises, it can be real powerful. So I highly recommend that.
Yeah, it's so good. Um, where are you on your real estate? I mean, we talked a little bit. I know you do real estate.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
So I have
I love real estate, so let's hear.
yeah, sure. So I have flipped a few houses. I have an Airbnb right now with 2 units in it, which is exciting, especially this time of year when it's starting to get a little busier. Um, and I'm more on the contractual side. So, whether it's we're flipping these row homes here in Philly as well as single family houses. So I have working with a buddy of mine, and I'm working more on the operations side. He's working more on the boots on the ground.
What's your market like there? Single family market. Is it good
Um,
right now? Slow?
things more. I think wherever slow. I think before COVID
Yeah.
everything was better. But I mean, it depends where you are. Like if it's like really Philly's like block
Yeah.
to block. So like where I live, like prices are through the roof. In the city, you
Hmm.
can still like find stuff because it's just there's a lot more going on down there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Um, Bennett, you got one final message to the world. What would your message be?
It's a good question.
And I guess specifically with you being a coach of people, helping them to do more, would that be part of your message or would it be?
On the one hand, I'll see where it goes. On the one hand, I
Yeah.
think people have to shift their expectations. I believe that people's meaningfulness and happiness and fulfillment in life is really a
Mm.
shift of expectations and perspective. And if people could have that, they could really start to step into that. And that's one of those things that, when I was a kid, I used to like always want to get sick so I didn't go to school. But then when you're sick, you're like, wait, why did I do this? This is horrible. And then it's like one of those feelings where like I think in life when you start to lose something, that's when you really start to appreciate it. And that's really just a perspective shift. And I think humans, we gradually reshape into whatever's going around us. But I would say number one, expectations. Number two is like
Mhm.
life's going to be tough either way, whether you try really hard to succeed at the things that you want or whether you don't. And it's really, you have to understand like, hey, which weight do I want to pull?
Mhm.
There's this great line where it's going to weigh it's I forgot the line. It's either it's like a ton of regret or a pound of, I don't know, whatever it is, but like the basic
Yeah.
idea,
Yeah.
the basic idea is that like there's so much that we can be doing, and it's gonna be hard, like doing the stuff that you want to be doing, like having the health that you want to have, the relationships that you want to have, and like it's gonna be a lot. And if you do it, like you're gonna feel amazing and be so grateful, and if you don't do it, the regret is gonna just be
Yeah.
terrible. So it's going to be tough either way, and we have a choice, which is cool as us humans. What's the direction that we want, and we could choose, and that's all on us. And at the end of the day, we go to sleep with our head on the pillow, and we wake up by ourselves, and we have to ask ourselves those questions to be able to try to figure out what is it that we want and how is it that we can start to do it.
I think that's really good. I really liked your first point of adjusting our expectations.
Yeah.
And don't you think that, in our world today with social media filters and all that, it's easy to not do that and have high expectations of perfection because
100%.
that's what our friends and neighbors are showing.
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
Um,
And yeah. And what's interesting about that is like, you look at all like those social media gurus, and like the higher level you go, like the more honest they are in terms of like how hard it is. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like you listen to like, I don't know, nowadays like Alex Hormozy is like really hot.
Yeah.
Or like, you look at like a Dave Ramsey, or you look at
Yeah.
I don't know, even like a Robert Kiyosaki, like all these guys who are like on the top tier level, like guys, Russell
Mhm.
Brunsons of the world, like they're all telling you like how difficult it is. It's possible, but it's difficult. It's the ones who
Yeah.
are below them, which is like a bigger pool of people, are like, oh, life is amazing. I just do this and it's like I'm fun and I'm making so much money. And it's like, something's off here, because like it might be, but like a lot of times you're like, wait a second, something's off. Like some relationship might be off, or maybe you're not actually making as much money as you think you are, or this and that. And it's so easy for us to judge other people, and I guess in a
Yeah.
positive light, but then we put the shame on ourselves. And that's where
Mhm.
the problem is. And I think that comes from like an inner self-confidence and self-worth that we have to have about ourselves and not feel bad or guilty. Because let's say all that stuff was real. Let's say that we're really
Yeah.
that successful. It shouldn't matter to us. Like we should be happy for them. But what is
Yeah,
it that we can start
absolutely.
to do? And that's something that I think a lot of people have a tough time doing. And I think social media is a big part of that equation. And we just got to focus on like what we can control. And as long as we do
Yeah.
that, like, I think we'll be able to, start to see the success that we want.
That's so good. I was even thinking about it in regards to marriages. We
Yeah.
have maybe unfair expectations of our spouse
Yeah.
within our marriage, and then we become discontent because
Yep.
our expectations were so high that they couldn't fulfill it anyway.
Yeah. 100%.
And we watch Hollywood or TV or movies, and they paint this picture, and it's not realistic of
Yeah.
real life.
And the ones who the ones who are open and honest, and unfortunately the ones who have had to go to rehab and whatnot, they're the ones who are telling you like how it's not. And people are trying to get there, and then they get there like, wait a second, this is not realistic or not real. And it's a lot of, but I'm sure there are people who are happy and people who are grateful and people who are, doing their thing and really proud of their work. But I think a lot of people might not be. But at the end of the day, we're not here to judge them. We have to work on ourselves and try to, how can I get one?
For sure.
Better from yesterday.
Sure.
So.
But I think your message of adjusting your expectations is huge.
Yeah.
In the context of a relationship or marriage outside
100%.
of profession or whatever, it can even be into the home life.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
I definitely agree with that. That's one of my big talking points these days, because I know for me personally, when my expectations are off, I just always get upset and frustrated and down.
Yeah.
And if I could just manage my expectations, then I'll look to be a little bit more productive in my days.
Yeah, that's good. That's so good. Well, thank you, Bennett, for being on here and giving us your time and your wisdom, and hope to continue to connect with you. And hey, where can people find you? I mean, I know I Googled you and you're all over the place, but
yeah, so we are all over the place. We are on YouTube. We actually have a podcast where I talk small bits of like about 15 minutes episodes. We post 2 a week on personal development, different topics, different things. So definitely check us out there. We are on Instagram. We are wherever, or Twitter. Like we're on LinkedIn. We're pretty active, and just getting started. So exciting stuff.
well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Marty, for having me. Really appreciate it. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. And we'll see everybody on at some point, I hope.
Thank you. Hey, just wanted to thank you guys for listening to the end. In closing, I just wanted to add that if this message resonates with you, if it aligns with your values, and something in it today triggered something, then you can also look me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We are really trying to help people live more intentional lives, to kill the complacency. with which they have subscribed to. I know there's many ways which I get sucked in all the time. So if this is beneficial, follow me there, spread the message, share. And if you want to wear a billboard of a message of kill complacency or live intentionally, then check out my merch store in show notes as well. But it's www.mindsetshop.com. Mindset is with an X, so it's MINDXET shop, SHOP.com, mindsetshop.com. Check it out. Thank you guys so much, and have a great one.
Thank you for listening to Kill Complacency. Follow and share our podcast to change lives and inspire growth.